All right, I don't know if anybody's here or if anybody can hear me. I just rebooted and went live. I do not know why we got cut. Somebody pulled the plug on us. So I don't even know how to tell if anybody's here because I don't know what I'm doing. Give me just 1 second. And I really just want to wrap it up, but you know, I didn't mean to get disconnected. I don't know what happened. I got disconnected, and my screen isn't looking right, so I'm just going to get tech help for 30 seconds and then come back. So just give me 1 second. Steve-O, can you do me a favor and help me back up? We got disconnected. Just ended the stream on us. I don't know. No, I'm not. But I started a new stream, so I'm on a new stream, but I don't know what I'm doing, so if you could help me, I'd appreciate it. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, I am back. I don't know if anybody's here. I'm having my tech support come in and try and get me set back up the right way. I have no idea what happened. That is an all-time first. We just got absolutely cut off. All of a sudden, we were gone. So, George left. It was about his time to leave anyway. So let me know if you're here. Right now, I can't even tell. So just drop a comment if anybody's here. And we want to keep going. All right, we're getting, my tech is helping me right now get set back up so that I can see what the heck is going on. Is this restarting it? Oh,
We're back.
okay. All right.
People. I think we're good.
All right, I think we're back. Let me know in the comments if we're back and you can see me. George is gone. Everything went haywire. But I'm back. Let's see. Steven said that was odd. I know, I have no... This is the third live stream, LOL, said Barry. JD, and we're back. That was odd. Kept buffering, though it was... thought it was my connection. It's good after George left. Maybe that was it. Maybe that was the maximum amount of George. Oh, you came on another stream and made dinner plans with George, and then it must have ended again and start. Well, that's good. Well, we didn't finalize any dinner plans. We just talked about potential dinner plans. Bob, we're back. Austin, we're back. Welcome back, everybody. Yeah, I have no idea, and I'm not the most, I used to be the computer guy, but I'm no longer the most computer literate, so I don't know what happened. I have no explanation. Don't be shy. Don't tell us how much exactly your dollar cost average in today in CleanSpark. JD says the CEO who must not be named sent internet goons after your... That's what George thought. He's like, oh, you know what? We started talking about us. I'm not going to start talking about him again. I don't think that's what happened, but The timing was awfully coincidental. We dropped someone's name in the chat section about 5 times, and then the chat ended. The whole stream ended. So, strange. Could be a coincidence. I'm still just having my tech finish whatever it is that he's doing, and then I'll get back to my chart. Are we close? Okay, just another second, I'll be there. Ty said the CEO of the biggest bank in the U.S. That's correct. Paul, you're back. Just don't. Yeah, exactly. Oh, you see, now you went and mentioned him in the chat. That's our working theory, that we said too much and we got cut off. So maybe we've learned our lesson. Good. All right. I'm just getting my whole setup because it erased everything on my side, so my screens all went haywire, but I'm back. All right, so that was Tech giving the thumbs up. He's got me back in order. I think I am missing one thing. Sorry, everybody keep going. Don't pay no attention to the good. Oh, this stuff's gold. This is great. This is great. Set up professional audio. I'm gonna X out of that. I don't know if you guys see that or not. Can everybody see my screen okay? Just rambling because I'm a bit lost, but I think I'm back up and running. Oh, might have just disappeared. Barry, are you really going to do deep dives on an altcoin every week and a stock deep dive too? That's a lot of work, and that's a great question. So that was a off the cuff. George and I have talked about the fact that we're going to start looking at some more coins, but I don't know that I'm going to be able to do a deep dive on a coin every week. You see how well my XRP deep dive has gone. I'm 8 weeks in and I haven't made the video yet. So I would say that would be an overpromise. I do, if there's people interested, you know, there's a bunch of altcoins that people have a lot of interest in. So I do want to get to those and start looking at some of them, you know, and add that to our content if people are interested. If nobody's interested in that, then, you know, maybe I'll find out that nobody cares about that. And I'm still trying to fix my screen. I need 10 more seconds. I need 10 more seconds to go get my tech support. I gotta learn how to do all this, so I don't need this. Steve, just a little more help? Steve, just a little more help, please? I don't see my regular setup. I can't see the numbers. Oh, sorry. We're getting fixed right now. I'll be fixed in 30 seconds or less. I was just disoriented. If everything isn't all set up the same way, I don't know what's going on. So I got a specific setup. I'm still new around here. All right, Steven saying, Steven English said, I can see you fine. You look okay. Just reboot the machine before a stream. Ah, okay. There's some advice. Let's see. Tech support is why we have kids. That's. I don't know if this is like one of those chicken and the egg things, because you're right. My kids are tech support now, but I used to be tech support. So did I stop learning because my kids learned, or was it all going to go past me anyway? And it's a good thing I have kids to help me fix all this. I think probably it's the latter, because this is very different than I checked out at around Windows 2000, if that gives you any idea how old I am. So Barry's saying, LOL, definitely interested in your take on alts. Steven is picking up, Steven English picking up for George, calling me a boomer. That's fair. That's a fair comment. I actually am not a boomer. All my brothers and sisters are boomers, but I just missed the cutoff, so I'm not. But it's moments like this where it's hard to claim that I'm not. This is very boomer behavior. So we're just started over again. So if you could smash the like button, I would appreciate it. Yeah, we don't want that catching on. Okay, so anyway, I'm gonna get back to what we were talking about before we so rudely disappeared. So my takeaway on this is that we should not be talking about certain people. Control Alt Delete. I'm not Control Alt Deleting. I'm not touching anything. I'm just gonna let it ride. Everything's back. Everything's back. I've done what I can do. All right, so this is my third live stream tonight. We had our regular live stream. Then we had the live stream where George and I were talking about going to dinner for a minute. And now we're back for our real live stream. So drop me a note so I know you guys are there. Everybody got quiet. I think that's because we lost most of the people, but probably because I'm baffled. So as long as we're here, I just want to talk about this purple. This, to me, this was a gigantic. I thought this was going to be a significant line of resistance at around 22,400. That was my first price target. I've been saying all along I have two price targets for this relief rally. We just hit one of them live on the live stream, and so far we've just gone right through it. Now we could pull back. It's at 22,428, so we're not that much above it. We're at over 22,600 right now. So, obviously we could pull back. Maybe we'll find some support at that line. I'm just shocked. I mean, this is all in the last 2-3 hours. We just had a monster run of over $1,000. Right? This was what? 3 hours ago. This was 3 hours ago. So that means I'll just go to where we are, not the top. That's 5.5% in the last 3 hours. And if we go from where we closed yesterday, that's 7%. We were up as much as 7.75%. And who knows? Who knows where we go tonight? But this is the thing. This is when the weekend hits, and it's like, so for me, I don't hold Bitcoin. I don't trade Bitcoin. And I've thought many times, maybe I need to start doing that because of situations exactly like this. We just got into a gigantic run, and now the market's closed for the weekend. So whatever Bitcoin's about to do for the next 48 hours, I just got to keep my fingers crossed and hope it lasts until the market opens on Monday. So we have had many times where we get the run up over the weekend, and then by the time the weekend's over, in the early hours overnight on Sunday night to Monday morning, everything reverses itself and we end up right back where we started. So I'm hoping that does not happen. This does look like, you know, for the moment, it looks like we got a little momentum. I'm going to look at the 4 hour. That's the 1 day. That's the 1 day. Come on now. Oh, yeah, because that's Bitfarms. Wow. Yeah, so this 4 hour really puts it into perspective. I mean, you can see exactly what went on here. We had a nice green candle two candles ago, and then this one went from where we closed yesterday right up to this line that has been resistance. You know, if you don't want to count this one, this would have been 1, but it didn't quite get there. 2, 3, 4, 5 times. This was the 6th time. And then on this 4 hour candle, I mean, you can see the bottom there's no wick at the bottom of this candle. So far for these 4 hours, we've been up in a straight line. So this candle, unless something awful happens, this candle's not even going to have a wick on the bottom. We're just going to be up in this 4 hours. The question is now, can we stay above this purple line and start running to the next one? So this was my hope for the relief rally is up here. So we've got another. That's another 11.5%. And again, I always say I don't ever think we're going anywhere in a straight line. So, you know, this type of activity is always surprising to me. This is a bit of a straight line here that we just ran right now. So, but the last time you can see, oh, got to undo that or I moved a line. The last time we did that, we had a nice big straight line up and then we had a bunch of consolidation. So, and these are 4 hours, so this isn't as long as it seems, but it was days. That was from the 13th. This is the last week. So this same time last week, we had a nice run really after the market closed last week. And now this week we're having a nice run again. So we'll see if it keeps going. Raul, hey, we're back. Thanks, Raul. Welcome back. Bob Cassidy, welcome back. Raul, what are the big economic events, dates next week? I don't know what's going on next week. I know that to me, the big date that I'm looking for is February 1st is the next Fed. So, but wait. Did we already do CPI? Yeah, we already did CPI. July. Yeah, February 14th is the next one. So the Fed meets on the Fed talks on the 1st, and next CPI is the 14th. And those two, to me, I've just had my eye on those two things because the market has been absolutely dominated by those two events for the better part of a year now. So it's crazy, but you know, that's what's happening. I will do a quick poll. Just what do we think because we're now 10 days away from 11 days away from that Fed meeting. So what's the Fed going to do? .25. All right, I just put a quick poll up. What do we think the Fed is going to do? I mean, I know what the market thinks the Fed is going to do. It's totally priced in. Well, I won't show that. We'll show that after. Oh, we got some surprise votes in here. All right, yeah, if you're here, remember to vote. Smash the like button. Maybe we can get some people back on the stream because we disappeared for unknown reasons. Yeah. That was disturbing. That threw me. I'm thrown. Let's see. All right, how do I get it? Wow, how did I get this far behind? Alex, you're back. Yes, I'm back, Alex. Thank you. Thanks for coming back. Hello, Raul. Alex, we missed your signal interruption. I don't know what happened. I just don't know what happened to me. I just disappeared. All of a sudden, I noticed I was still talking to George, and there was a big thing on my screen that said stream over. So I have absolutely no idea what happened. And then apparently a few of you stuck around enough to find somehow George and I were streaming together talking about what we're going to do for dinner. So, and then I think I must have ended that stream when I started this stream to try to do a reboot and get the stream back up and running. So, we're back. Raul said the exchanges aren't able to short as they did before because people took coins off the exchange. Yeah, a lot of coins are coming off the exchange, and these exchanges are in a state of flux. There's a lot more news to come on these exchanges because I don't think people, you know, it's complicated to get your money off of the exchange if you're of a certain age. Let's just say, I'll include myself in that, right? Getting a cold wallet and taking your money off the exchange. You know, if you're just gonna, if you're buying a Bitcoin and you're gonna store it for 30 years, you know, okay, but you know, if you want to trade these things, you got to keep some amount of money on exchange. But I do think there's too much money on these exchanges, and there's too many people that are holding long term and leaving their money on the exchanges. That's not, the exchanges are not where any of this cryptocurrency belongs. It's taking a DeFi thing and centralizing it. So it's like it's an oxymoron to have your stuff on an exchange. To a certain extent. I mean, if you're a trader, you've got to have it on there. It's the easiest way to trade. There are other ways, but you know, other than that, I think a lot of people, and I can see all the people that I watch on YouTube that talk about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency have all made several videos. I have not done this. You guys do whatever you want, but I've seen a multitude of videos saying get all your money off the exchanges now. So I don't want to do that video because I don't want to be a part of pressing the panic button, but I don't think it makes sense to keep your money. If you're not trading, get a cold wallet. Put in cold storage. Alex, double dipping. I'm double dipping on the stream. I know this was still supposed to be part of the last stream, but we had a theory. We were mentioning somebody important's name too much, so they cut us. Millie Billy Invest exactly as I predicted before Christmas. So I'm guessing you predicted this bull run. Punch to the like button again. Thank you, Alex. Yeah, the electric cord. Who knows? Who knows what I did? Millie Billy Investing is saying that's his third 100% accurate Bitcoin prediction. I know when this rally will exactly end. Well, please do tell if you haven't already. So I don't see the final answer to that. So what is your, let's hear what your prediction, when does this rally end? Mike Robinson, hey Mike, Bitcoin's on a rocket ship. Yeah, see, Alex, I can't even read that because that's what we think happened. So if I start saying his name again, all of a sudden my stream's going to disappear again. Mike, you're late. You missed a whole series of events. The stream disappeared and it came back. So for you, all is well. Eddie's saying 25 basis points. Let's check in on the poll. Okay, so 58%. Right now we have 19 votes. So anybody who wants to vote, we're just doing a quick poll. what's the Fed going to do on February 1st? We got 58% at 25 basis points, 32% at 50, and we have 11% at 0. So I'm in two different camps. What I think they are going to do and what they should do. And I think they're going to do 25 basis points. That seems like what's going to happen right now. And to me, the other possibility, they still could surprise us because, I mean, Jerome Powell has not been shy. Every time he speaks, he's extremely hawkish. He says the same talking points he's been saying for 6 months now, or longer. And he was late to the party, right? Inflation's transitory, blah, blah, blah. We heard that for 6 or 8 months. So he was very late to the party, but he feels the pressure from that now. And I just don't think he's going to pull the plug on this early. He's going to raise rates. He would much rather raise rates too much than ever being accused of not doing it enough, of stopping short. So that's why I think, sometime, even with all that said, sometime by, the middle of this year, they're just going to run out of runway and they're going to have to reverse course. So in the meantime, I think he's going to play the most hardball he can possibly play because he knows that, the clock is ticking. It was only a Fed official who sneezed this week and miners had their red day. Same day as the bullish PPI report. Yeah, exactly. It totally nullified that. That's exactly right. The Fed is the whole thing. Mike saying maybe Fed's going to reduce rates. By the end of this year, I think everybody will be surprised if they haven't switched into reducing rates and some quantitative easing. I don't know that they're going to let the floodgates open, but I think they're going to be forced to switch gears sometime by the middle of the year anyway. Eddie's saying probably not until inflation is closer to 2. But I don't think they can wait until inflation's at 2%. They want it to be at 2%. They say that's their target, and it's been moving in the right direction. The comps obviously get easier and easier to help get there, but I don't know that they're going to get to 2 before the housing situation and automobiles and a lot of other macro factors are going to dictate that they switch gears and start reducing rates. How am I still so far behind? Barry saying stock market exchanges selling naked shorts GNS ? Is Cleanspark dead money this year? Asks Alexander. So in my personal opinion, the answer to that is no. I think Cleanspark had, well, it's not even fair to say they had the best year. Every single one of the 18 Bitcoin miners that I track had an awful year. Cleanspark had the least awful year in 2022, down 79%. So they're starting off a little slower than everybody else this year for a lot of different reasons, and I think that's one of them. Everybody knows they're probably doing some stock dilution now. They're talking about getting up to 16 exahash. But I don't know. I expect Cleanspark to be one of the top performers this year. That's my personal opinion. I think I have them ranked number 2 on my here's my top 4 list. So I have Cleanspark. So this I made at the end of the year last year. This was coming into 2023. So this is my 2023 list. It's really a top 4, but it's really a top 8 list. But the top 4 I have a very high level of conviction in. The next 4 I think are the next best stocks, and I think they all have a chance. All 4 of the next 4, Marathon, Iris, Cypher, and Hive, particularly Marathon and Cypher, I think have a chance of moving into that one of those top 4 spots. I like Iris and Hive, but I just don't think they're going to scale up at a level that's going to allow them to do that. But those are the 8 that I like, the top 4 in particular. And you can see CleanSpark's my number 2. So in my opinion, on my list, it's not dead weight in 2022. And if it is, I guess then my investment isn't going anywhere for a while. Oh, is the background a Google search right now? Right now, the background should be my top 10. Can somebody let me know if that's what it is or if somehow it's on the wrong? Yeah, just drop a comment if you can see my top 8 right now is what should be on the screen. So hopefully that is what you're seeing. Otherwise, I'm still not back up to my proper setup. I might need tech support again. So that was Steven asking me that. So somebody let me know. Raul. Okay, good. Steven is letting me know that it's that now. Okay, good. Thank you. Appreciate it. Alex is saying the Fed should just increase 0.5 instead of gently pulling on the bandage. So that's my opinion as well. So I think they're going to do 25 basis points, but they should just do the 50 basis points. I think they're scared. I think if they do the 50, I think they feel like they're going to run out, because I think they want to raise rates 3 more times, and that might put them past where they want to go. But I'm with you. Prior to the numbers shifting big time with the last CPI report, I was fairly certain they were going to do 50 basis points. But now the market is 90+% priced in a 25 basis point. That doesn't mean it's going to happen, because Powell's going to do whatever he's going to do. So I won't be sad either way, but I will say this. I think that if they do 50 basis points, it's going to present a buying opportunity, if you will. So, AKA, I don't think the market's going to like that. We're going to have at least a temporary pullback, even though it may be the right thing to do. Eddie's saying, terminal rates matter too. Last meeting, they raised their target rate over 5% and markets tanked. Yeah, that's true. And that's why I'm saying they're running out. That's where I think they're running out of runway. We're not going to have 6.5%, 7% interest rates. So there's only so far they can go. There's only so far they can even pretend that they're going to go, even if they're bluffing. So that's where I think they're running out of runway. So that's a good point. So we'll see what they have to say at the next meeting. My guess is that number stays the same. Raul's asking, if the Fed is slowing down rate increases, how is this not a soft landing? I mean, the soft landing question is going to become, I had this up earlier. This is one of many. This is almost every single big tech company. So yesterday, Google, I guess today, this morning in the early hours, Google parent, which is Alphabet, but that's Google, cuts 12,000 jobs after a pandemic hiring spree. So that pretty much makes every single one of the top 5 or 6 tech companies have all announced a layoff of 10,000 or more employees in the last 2 or 3 months. So, these layoffs, now that's one sector. It's a big sector. It's all the biggest companies in the stock market, but that's what's going to be soft landing, hard landing. Are we going to start running into high unemployment, and our wages going to take a hit? So there could be a soft landing. How many times have we been surprised that things just worked out a little bit better than expected? The doom and gloom, it does look, a lot of things look like gloom and doom. And, maybe it's going to be a hard landing, but I don't think we know yet. Could not find a better name is asking, what about Hive? Do you see it back at $10 by the end of the year? So obviously that mainly depends on what Bitcoin, well, it depends on what Bitcoin does, and I expect Hive to execute their operational plan. They had some setbacks in 2022, but if I go back to my list, I have Hive at number 8, and they were much higher on my list. When they stopped mining Ethereum, they also ran into some trouble with the price they were paying for energy. They've backed their exahash rate way down. I think they did that on purpose, just based on the cost of energy. They did buy those Intel ASIC chips. They're making their custom machines. They've rolled out the first batch of those. So if they can have a smooth rollout and those machines do what they say they're going to do, and one of the things those machines are supposed to do is like they're like a variable speed type of a situation where they can manage the power consumption like in real time. So theoretically, you know, they should be able to mitigate their cost per coin as a result of that. It may end up result in a little less Bitcoin mined, but if it's at a much higher gross profit margin, that's a good thing. So I have Hive in my top 8. I like them. I think they could also move up, but we need to see. The end of Ethereum for them was a big, big deal. They knew it was coming. I think it came sooner than they thought it was going to come. So they had a plan in place, but they're just getting it rolling right now. So I do think Hive's going to have a good year. I think Bitcoin's going to have a good year, and I think Hive will participate in that. That's my opinion. Yeah, so Tim is asking, how much will it cost CleanSpark to build out the facility and buy hash rate to get to 16 exahash? That is why the answer to that is too much money, in my opinion. That's why I'm not anxious for them to run to 16 exahash. They're already at 6.5. They've just got some infrastructure in place that's going to take them, they think, to 8.7. If they get to 10 or 12, what I care more about is that they manage their risk. So, if Bitcoin goes on a wild run and they're selling Bitcoin for $30,000 each, that may provide them ample cash to ramp up to where they want to go. But in my opinion, they should be careful. If this is just a relief rally and the next thing you know, we're back at Bitcoin $17,000, then I do not think they should be running as fast as they can to get to 16 exahash. That's just from a risk management standpoint, that doesn't make sense to me. Obviously, I don't know the ins and outs of their business like they do, but we've seen other Bitcoin miners make that mistake. Core Scientific was the most aggressive. They got to by far the biggest exahash, but unfortunately, for shareholders anyway, they had to file Chapter 11. So now, we got to wonder if there's anything left at the end of the day. So getting there faster was not necessarily better. So what I'd like to see them do is just do what they can do. Gorilla saying, Tom, do you think Cypher is a good buy? I've been eyeing that company, but do not know how much about them. They look promising, potential top 5. And so, yeah, I have Cypher as my number 7. The one issue I have with Cypher, and it's not about their company, because they have finally, it took most of the year in 2022, right? The first operational report they gave in December. And in December, they were actually the 5th highest as far as number of Bitcoin mined out of all the Bitcoin miners. Having said that, I think their number was like 225, maybe 250 if I'm remembering wrong. So it was a very low month. There was a big drop off after the top 4. But for Cypher, they came out swinging. That was a very good report. And they're talking about getting to 6 exahash quickly. And they have plans to go way beyond that. So I do think they're going to be one of the big companies. I think they're going to be a top 5 company as far as size, operations, number of Bitcoin mined. I think by the end of the year, they're going to be a top 5 company. But my issue is they're already, and this is prior to today, so let's do an updated one. So this has $272 million of market cap. This is what it says on Yahoo. I could dive deeper and see if that's correct, but these are usually about right. So they're already the same size as a lot of their competition that they're trying to catch up to from a market cap standpoint. But it may be that they're worth that and more. So it's harder for me to, I love the company. I'm still trying to figure out the stock as well. And, you know, here they ran up 16% today. So, you know, it gets harder and harder to not feel like you've missed. You know, these guys were at 39 cents on December 29th. So at 39 cents, probably I would have been arguing for them. At $1.10, I'm not sure versus the competition. And I'm still not sure we're out of the crypto winter or the bear market. I mean, we're obviously into an extremely nice relief rally. I think now with what the action that we've seen right now, this might be the biggest relief rally we've had. So I'm just going to measure. That's 46.85% from November 21st through January 20th. So that's almost exactly 2 months. That's almost a 47% relief rally. That is actually better, I believe, than the August relief rally, which was, yeah. The August relief rally was 43.5%. So we have now surpassed the largest relief rally since the bear market started. So we've had 3 significant relief rallies. They've all been over 40%. So the question now becomes, do we keep running? Is this a relief rally or is this a reversal? And maybe, you know, not that things go up in a straight line. I do expect lots of volatility, but maybe, you know, are we maybe segueing into a bull market over the next quarter? I do think by the end of this year, we're going to be, long before the end of this year, in my opinion, we'll be in a bull market. And again, a lot of you have already mentioned the reason why. At some point this year, the Fed's going to switch gears. So with everything else that's happening and a Fed switch, I think we're definitely going to see a bull market return in Bitcoin. That doesn't mean it's going to, you know, run to an all-time high or any of those things, but I think we're going to be back. We will be back moving in the right direction, in my opinion. Okay, Raul, what miners have machines left to install, replace old ones? So there's a bunch of miners that still have some older machines. I'll tell you who really has a lot of old machines that I just don't think they're ever going to get to plug in. And there's, you know, Bit Digital was operating in China. And then obviously everybody was asked nicely to leave there and go elsewhere. So they chose to move to North America, and they still have not plugged in the vast majority of those machines. And if you look at the inventory of their machines, they show you what machines they have. They're just not, they certainly weren't profitable at Bitcoin 17,000. I don't know. I mean, if we run quickly, maybe they can plug some of those. If we get back to 30,000 real fast, maybe some of those will start to be profitable again. But a lot of their machines, they have all their S19s. They bought 10,000 new machines. Represents the vast majority of what Bit Digital has plugged in. So most of their existing machines, they may never get to use again. So that's just my personal opinion. You guys can go look on their website, and if you look in their 10K, they literally show you a list of the machines that they have, you know, and by how many of each one. So versus Marathon, you know, most of these companies, most of the machines that they bought are new. So, you know, most of these companies are only 1 or 2 years old or just got into Bitcoin 1 or 2 years ago. So, you know, if they got in time to order the 19 series or its equivalent, then, you know, those are new enough that those got a bunch of years left, in my opinion. And Alex is saying Hive has the new Intel miners. That's right. So they've got their Intel ASIC chip inside, and they custom built their own. Well, they subcontracted to custom build their own miner, the Buzz miner or something. I can't remember. They've got a name for it. They're calling it something. I don't know what it is. But yeah, they've got those up and running, so I will be interested. I think it's going to take January and then February operational updates from Hive, and we're going to start to get some insight as to how those machines are running from an efficiency standpoint. And does Hive's number of Bitcoin mines start to go back up to where they were? So that remains to be seen, but I'm optimistic for them. Daniel, question please. If Bitcoin gets to past all-time high, will the stock price of miners get back to the same price they were or higher because the miners mined new Bitcoins through the winter? I think there's going to be winners and losers is my answer to that. So that is the critical question. Who do you think are the winners? I showed you who my top 4 and my top 8 are. So, again, this is my list. And a lot of people shared their list with me, and there were, everybody's got a different opinion. If you think the company's going to get through this and be one of the ones that gets to the other side without going through a liquidity crisis, then I think, yes, a lot of these companies, I believe, will get past, they will be past their previous high. Now, there's some companies that it's not fair to. CleanSpark ran up to $40 in January of 2021, and that really wasn't even on Bitcoin mining. That was on their microgrid company that was basically pre-revenue, and that's when all the small cap high growth stuff spiraled to a place that was insanity. So they participated in that, so it may be years before they get back to that. But, their recent high is more like, well, let's see. Let's see where they were. Wherever they were in November of 2021, to me, is what would be... we don't want to go on that thing. We want to go on this thing. Yeah, so you can see, they were... So when Bitcoin got to 69,000... CleanSpark was at $23.60. So can they get back to that? That's a 10x. Not quite, but nearly a 10x from here. So I don't know if they'll get back to that. They've done a bunch of dilution. I do think they will increase in multiples. So I'm not sure they're going to get back to where they were. However, if you look at Riot, they were at 46. That's also, well, they're at $6.20. So a lot of these are 7 or 8 X's. But I do think they stand a chance at getting back. That's not an unreasonable number. So that's a 645% increase, which sounds ludicrous. But remember, we just looked at a few Bitcoin miners that had 400 or 500% increases this month. So to think that over the next 2 years they might do that, I think is extremely reasonable price targets if the companies stay on plan, right? Riot intended to get to 12.5 exahash, and then we'll see. That they've had that plan for over a year now. They've been executing that plan. If they get to 12.5 exahash, they're highly efficient. They're getting paid massive amounts in energy credits on top of that. So I could see them getting back to there. So I think it's going to be hit or miss. It's going to depend. There's some companies like Argo Blockchain, I don't see them getting back to where they were. Right, they were at $21. They're at $1.73. I don't know what Argo would have to do to get back here. To me, that seems unrealistic. A lot of these at the bottom of the list, Stronghold, I don't see them at, right, they're at 64 cents. They were at $35. No, I don't think they're ever getting back to that. That's my opinion. Could it happen? I guess. That would be approximately a 5,810% increase in the price of their stock. So, when it starts to get to those numbers, and they don't even have the business model necessarily at this point to try to get back to there. They had to change their company drastically. So that's why I say you got to look at the company. Like Mawson also had to make major changes to their company. Any, which is Sphere 3D, made monumental changes to their company. They never went through with their merger that they were going to do. They didn't buy the 24 exahash of mystery machines, so they were they were in a very different place when they were trading up at, you know, almost $12. They're at 44 cents now. Are they going to get back to 12 bucks? I doubt it. But they could have a nice run, right? They could still pull a 5x or a 10x or whatever and still not be anywhere near where they were. So I think that really, really, really depends. But yes, some of these I do believe when Bitcoin gets to its all-time high, some of these Bitcoin miners will get to their all-time high. If I had to pick one, everybody knows I like Bitfarms. They didn't really run up that high on the first round. So to me, I think they stand a real chance because they didn't have as much of a gigantic run up as the other ones did in November. So it's an easier price target for them. Raul's saying the miners diluted so much, so previous all-time highs for miners will take much longer. So, yeah, that's true. Most of the miners have done a bunch of stock dilution, but there are also multiples. You know, so if they doubled their stock, but they 5x'd their exahash rate, things can balance themselves out and they can get back to where they were. Now, in between that is the cost of energy and the difficulty level as well. So there's a lot of variables, But yes, that's point taken, definitely. Dilution is something that will delay some of these from getting back to where they were. Daniel S. Blow off top. I think before the end of the year, we're going... Whoa! We're going to $180,000. That is from Daniel. So, Daniel, I hope you're right. That is not my price target, but... it's better than my price target, so that would be absolutely fantastic. All right, I'm going to end the poll. It looks like we think 25 basis points. 64% said 25 basis points. 19% said 50, and 17% said 0. So we were a little bit split, but in the end, it seems like just like the rest of the market, we're looking... Our live stream's looking for 25 basis points. Yeah, Daniel's saying GREE was 400 and now it's $1. Yes, GREE would be my ultimate example of, I think we can comfortably say, while nothing is impossible, I don't think GREE is ever going to get back to its all-time high. I don't think it's ever going to get back to, you know, I don't think it's ever going to get back to 1/10 of its all-time high. It could hit a grand slam home run and not get back to 1/10 of its all-time high. But unfortunately, that was a part of that whole support.com thing where a lot of people kind of got the short end of the stick on that. So if Smurf's loan to Genesis goes to 0, how bad does it hurt their balance sheet? So I don't think it's going to go to 0. From everything that I see, Genesis, I mean, they went into Chapter 11, but I think we need to wait and see. It looks like there's...
Talking Investing.
Daniel S., welcome aboard. Thanks for joining. New member, much appreciated. You can check out, there's a bunch of content already there waiting for you, so welcome aboard and thank you. So I think a lot of people are going to get most of their money back. That's my personal opinion on the Genesis situation. So I guess time will tell. But I think they ran into more of a liquidity thing, more so than, you know, being so far upside down. I think that appears to be the case, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. So Stephen English is saying, with inflation also, that means a $10 stock 2 years ago isn't the same now. Right, so just getting back to the same price based on the high levels of inflation we had doesn't really mean you got back to the same place. So that's a fair point. Where did that number come from, Daniel? How did you arrive at that number? And I don't know what number that was. Let me see if I can find. Oh, GREE. The GREE chart is weird. I'm going to go to GREE and see what they say on here, but because they don't even... I mean, look at what happened here. So if you go to TradingView, and this all happened, I will tell you guys, I did a emergency video like 5 days before this, because this was the support.com/Gree merger was in my opinion, an unreasonably complicated situation. Those people that held support.com stock, support.com was in the middle of a short squeeze. The problem is, support.com was in the middle of a short squeeze, but the problem is the merger of those two, support.com was only a tiny small fraction of what was then going to be the new company. So everybody thought the new company would short squeeze, but the truth is they went from having like 80% short to like 4% short. And the share conversion is not what everybody thought. So everybody lost 90-something% of this money in the first 2 days. And I did the math. You can go back in the archives and watch that video. That was all but inevitable. So I feel like people were not treated fairly on that. I only found that through a very deep dive, and I just, no one should be expected to find that type of an anomaly situation where if you just hold on to your stock, it's going to crash 90% in a day or two. But that's what happened, and I think that was most likely what was going to happen. And according to this, it was up at, let's see, $519. So that was the day of the merger. So it immediately, even on that one day, that closed from 519, that closed at 228. I mean, it was down to 50 or 60 before. So here it was down to 100. Anyway, this was a most unusual situation that I would not ever expect to see. Actually, I think this is the day the merger happened. So it was in the days up to the merger that they got whacked, and then they got nailed again. Anyway, that was a tangent, but that's what Gree is, an outlying situation. I've never seen one of those where the math worked out that way before. It was ridiculous. PG saying, let's go Cleanspark. Shouldn't it be around 4-ish? Yeah, I absolutely think it should be around 4-ish. Raul said, welcome to Daniel. Yes, Daniel, thank you again. Welcome to the club. Just in comparison, PG saying, just in comparison to other miners, shouldn't it be at 4-ish? See, the thing is, it depends on what time frame you go. If you start from January 1st, 2022, so that is now 1 year and 1 month ago, Cleanspark's actually doing better than a lot of the other Bitcoin miners because their 2022 wasn't as bad. So while these other guys had massive runs up lately, it's just kind of getting them on par with Cleanspark if you look in a much larger window of time. But certainly over the last month, Cleanspark has underperformed versus their peers drastically. So this is not updated for today, but I think it's updated for yesterday. So as of, I think, yesterday's close, I mean, here's the numbers. Riot was up 71% year to date. Hunt was up 95% year to date. Bitfarms is up 148% year to date. Remember, this is year to date. This is through the first 19 days of January. Whereas Cleanspark is up 22% year to date. So they have not participated in this rally. And you can see it keeps going. Marathon up 115%. Hive up 101%. I mean, these guys are lagging behind. Cypher at 69% and Iris at 50%. They underperformed. And that doesn't even get to the ones that weren't on my list. DigiHost is up 200% in 3 weeks. Gree is up 204% in 3 weeks. So yes, you're right. If Cleanspark were to have behaved like the others, they should be at $4. So I don't know. So maybe they're about to take a run to $4. I know this. I bought some this week, so you guys know how I feel about it. Daniel's saying I could share some charts. Yeah, please feel free. If you want to share charts or if you want to send them to me, I have a link on my on the YouTube channel, and I can share them on the stream. Alex said, blow off top 180K. That number? Question. exclamation point. I don't know where that number comes from. I won't complain if that happens. I don't know when that happens or if that happens, but I do think I will stand to the fact that I think at some point this year, through what will be a lot more volatility, we will segue back into the bull market, in my opinion, in Bitcoin in specific. Oh yeah, Discord. Good call, Raul. Yeah, thank you. That's perfect. You can share with everybody on Discord. If you're not a member of the Discord, there should just be a link in the description. Maybe not in the description of this live stream, because this is the wacko live stream that I redid. But on my channel on YouTube, there's a description. So you can join the Discord and share there. Good idea, Raul. All right, so I've gone super long. This is the end of my, I guess, technically my third live stream here today. So I appreciate everybody coming back and joining after the massive technical difficulty. We disappeared for a period of time. So thank you, Daniel, for joining as a new member. And thanks, everybody. Thanks to all the existing members. And thanks to everybody who subscribed, smashed the like button, joined us on the earlier chat as well, and also this live stream. So thank you, everybody. Hopefully everybody had a good week. I mean, this is Bitcoin on the 15-minute time frame. If you're invested in Bitcoin miners, the chances are you had a very good week this week. So enjoy it. Enjoy the weekend. Everybody have a great weekend. As a former born and raised in upstate New York, I have to root for the Bills this weekend. It's my obligation. So go Bills, or whoever your team happens to be. And so thanks again, everybody. You guys know I really appreciate it. Enjoy your weekend, and let's hope this run continues. And when we pick up Monday morning, let's hope we get to capitalize on this run. So have a great weekend. Thanks.